A quick commentary on some posts on YouTube and some posts on Facebook regarding the difference between atheism and agnosticism. And the way to boil it down, I think, is that atheism rejects any form of any kind of belief, where agnosticism is not sure about whether to believe in a certain form, or so that atheism is a more overall rejection. So somebody can completely not believe that, let's say there was a religion that believed that just for a silly example, a religion that believed that there was a flying spaghetti monster in the sky that was going to take me to heaven when I was 68 years old, and then I would be purified. And if I said that's totally ridiculous, then and reject all form of that, I'd be atheist to that kind of theism, I suppose. Now, where it gets more complicated when you talk about a vague kind of theism, whether it's just I kind of have a feeling that there's a higher being, but I'm not sure what it is, or what he or she is, or however you want to conceptualize that. I suppose you could see that as sort of an agnosticism, from the standpoint of I'm not sure, there could be something, but I'm not sure. Kind of like the Unitarians believe that there is just this vague something, the Great Spirit, or like the American Indians tradition, the Great Spirit in the sky, and but not being too particular with regard to rules. Now, with Christianity, you have a lot of rules to follow. There are some cults where you have even more strange rules to follow. So, by rejecting some rules of some religion, I guess Richard Dawkins would say that you're an atheist toward a certain thing. So if you're a Christian, you're an atheist toward Islam. If you're Islam, you're an atheist to Jainism. So it's all relative. But in a more general sense, from the kinds of stuff that I've seen online, when I go into a post and I'll say, well, what's the differentiation between agnosticism and atheism? What I get most of the time is that atheist is somebody that totally rejects and almost arrogantly rejects spirituality in favor of what's called scientism. There's a minister who has something, a Father Barron, his name is, and he is on his latest video ranting and raving about, well, not really, sort of civically ranting and raving about the scientism and how this arrogance is dangerous, with the late Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, Daniel Dennett, Sam Harris. Those are the most interesting ones, I think, and how they are arrogantly saying that there's nothing else, so why are you guys so stupid? And it's to think, and not really. I mean, they're just basically talking from pure reason and wondering why somebody could believe something that's made up, or just because I make it up in my own mind and I prefer to be a certain religion, does that make it true? So the very essence of truth and beauty is at stake here. And what the late Christopher Hitchens said in a brilliant video, if you go to the Hitchens archive, just go to YouTube and go on there. And I pasted that on Facebook today too. If you go on to the Hitchens archive, the highlighted video is about 1 minute and 50 seconds. This was maybe about a year before he passed away of esophageal cancer. He lost all his hair, but he was still in fairly good energy form. And he was saying, whatever it takes for beauty and truth, whatever it takes to make that argument unafraid, much as Socrates was looking for truth and beauty. I think Socrates, he said something about, it's worth it, even if I perish. It's worth it that my truth and my beauty, so to speak, survives, so that even in death we can survive. our ideas are strong, and what we stand up for is super strong. So stand up for what you believe, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. One of my philosophy professors, Dr. Doss, said there's a lot of bullshit out there. So you got to sift through that, and really the key is to make your own sense of what's true, and without obviously going into a mode where if you make what you think is true without regard to physical laws or any opinion of others, then you'd be called psychotic. But life is a one long journey to accumulate as much knowledge and wisdom as you can, and to share that. I think that's my, if there's a purpose. Accumulate wisdom, share it, appreciate the very short time we're here. And I guess if you are an atheist, which I'm leaning toward more, then you've got to believe that the time we have here is infinitely valuable, that there won't be 57 virgins waiting for us in heaven. This is it. This is truly it. So anyway, kind of rambling, but the atheism and agnosticism debate is very interesting, and it's very interesting to look up on Wikipedia the difference between the two. I guess in an intellectually honest sense, I would have to believe that I'm not sure, but certainly certain religions, and many of them, are patently false in a scientific sense. And I'll leave it there. And that's my short diatribe on agnosticism versus atheism. And do check out Christopher Hitchens' the archive site, which is great. His book Mortality, released posthumously, just got the audio, came into the public library, so I'll be looking forward to picking that up tomorrow morning. That's the audio version of the brand new book. So there we go. Have a nice weekend.